Welcome back to the video. Yes, we're starting on the ground, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna get started right away. Coming to the front of the car, you probably have a bumper. Me, on the other hand, I don't. But we're gonna get up to under the car and get to this little tab right here, which I already have just about halfway out. And what you wanna do is you wanna twist it. Pair of needle nose or whatever tool got to start letting it leak out. But what's going on, everybody? As y'all saw at the beginning, it's already on the floor trying to get stuff done. We are today replacing the radiator on this car. Very simple, very easy to do. We've got 2 hose clamps, one down there at the very bottom, as you see where my finger is, another one at the top. We take both of these hoses, pop them back. I already have my intake off because of the fact that yesterday I did the power steering pump, as y'all see in the video before this, and y'all see, well, y'all won't see it, but I ended up creating a oopsie and I broke the tab on the radiator. Unfortunate circumstances. I wasn't gonna patch it or do something with it, so well, it was a little blurry, but yeah, right there broke. Had a little issue with it. So right now what we're doing, we are draining the radiator into a little pan. I have already got the plug unplugged. What we are gonna do is we're gonna get the condenser and the heat exchanger taken off of the car itself, or not off the car, but off the radiator itself, because they are all sandwiched together. And what we are gonna do is we have a 10 millimeter on both sides. I believe that is a 10. Yeah, I wanna say that's a 10. 2 10 millimeters. Unscrew both of those. And what it's gonna give us access to is this nut right here, the screw right here, which you're gonna need a open end wrench or a closed end wrench, a ratcheting wrench, whatever you wanna have to get it off. So I'm gonna get this thing unscrewed, and y'all are gonna see, we'll get it unscrewed, leaned back, and get it ready to get out. All right, while we are draining all the fluid out, we are gonna come to the top here. You grab this little needle nose, or if you got the special pliers, you can grab it with those too. But I don't have the special pliers, so I'm not grabbing them with the special pliers. But now, the difference between my hose and yours is I'm gonna have a little bit of an issue getting it off because I have an aftermarket hose on here, deleting the oil cooler, and that was done because I'm gonna be running an aftermarket oil cooler, which I'll be installing soon after the second oil change, and that will be put on after we get done with the dyno and all the extra stuff that we got to do to the car for when we get it fully done. There we go. Just take that one off real quick. Now the second one you're really not going to be able to see because unfortunately it's all the way at the bottom of the car. So let me get down there, I'm going to knock it out real quick and I'll pull it off. You know what? I'll show you. So y'all see that hose running right there, right? Let's get up on down there. On the passenger side, that hose wraps down to right here, and it comes from the actual thermostat or the thermostat housing on the water pump. But I got to get this one off, which as you see, it's going to be a little bit of a pain because it's kind of in a tight spot. So we have, of course, needle nose, but we also have some extra tools wherever I threw them. Oh, they're behind me on my back, of course. So we have this one. I have adjustable. And then we also have some angled. And these are all what's going to be easiest for you to get your actual ring slid back, or the hose clamp slid back, and getting it off. So it's all however you feel and whatever makes it easiest for you. So yeah, I'm going to get this knocked out and slid back, and it's going to make a mess everywhere, but that's why we're draining the coolant out of the bottom down there, with the car being level, so it'll drain as much as I can out. Alright, so got this one slid back and off of where it came from. As you see the bottom down there, got it slid back and off, and we've got the top one off. That leaves us both of the hoses off of the actual radiator itself. Now I do believe we have 2 transmission line connectors that we do have to get off. Now with that, you might have to jack the car up and get it up in the air just enough for you to be able to get to it, and not having to worry about, you know, breaking, damaging, bending one of the lines or anything of that nature. So we do want to be very particular and careful about doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a jack. I'm going to jack the car up a little bit for us to get up under it and get those clips off. What you're going to need is you're going to need a pick. A pick is going to be not a toothpick, but a metal pick. And the picks are little sharp pieces, angled, straight, you know, curved. I'll show you on the next clip what they look like and what they are, so you could get some knowledge base on how to use it, get it out and pull it out safely without damaging it. All right, so now going under the car, don't mind the mess. You're gonna get it. Oh well, look at that, running down over there. All right, well at least it's running down over there and not over here. Completely fine with that. All right, so you have these little plastic pieces that cover the clip. You can see where you need to pop it off. So that's where these tools, these are picks. These are like $10 for a set. Literally really cheap. You can buy them at O'Reilly's, you can buy them at AutoZone, you can buy them at whatever parts place you go to. So come with a straight, 90, 45 on a 90, and then of course 180. All right, so these are gonna be your best friends. These will get up in there and they will pull the clip off and make it to where you can get to it. So I'm gonna use this one just for reference, because either that or the fully horseshoed one. Let's get up under there, just like I show y'all. You get up under there like this, and you just pull it. You just literally just pull it out, get up under it. I gotta get up under it, so doing this with one hand, you're gonna have 2 hands unless you're watching the video simultaneously. So let's see if I can get it from over here. Oh look, there we go. So now I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it out, so I'm gonna hold that right there. I'm gonna let it go. I'm just gonna hold it right there. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab one of the, I'll just grab this pick. What we're gonna do is where you see it has a little hole for a loop, you could just take this up in there and kind of wiggle it in and use it to pull it down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it down, pull it out, and I'll show you. So all I did was just use both of them to pull it back that way, back away from me, and get it out of there. So what I do is I just popped it up, and you can see it's ready to come off. So now let's just stick our hand in there. Stick our little hand in there real quick. All right, we're just gonna kind of wiggle it. Now don't go back on, you little pain. So these do have a couple of different places where they can lock into. So there we go. So these clips are just transmission clips. They're quick disconnect clips, easy. As y'all saw, I pulled on this side right here and just put the little other pipe, the little pick in there on the second part right here, and just pull it off. That's it. And from there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull and disconnect your transmission line. You're just gonna literally just wiggle it, or you're just gonna wiggle it out and pull it that way out of the transmission. So what it does is it snaps in a couple of places down here like that, one right there. So what we'll do is these are soft fittings coming up to it, so you can just push it off. Very simple. Same thing with the other one. Push them off, and now it gives you free accessibility to wiggle it and pull it out. So I'm gonna get these both out and start getting this thing ready to come out, because I don't want to lose too much transmission fluid, because that stuff is expensive, very expensive. But before I do that, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna set up, and I want to get this thing torn apart real quick and ready to come out before I even do that. So let's get this done. All right, now that I've got this loose and off with the 10 mils, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a 1/2 inch closed-in wrench. That's a ratcheting wrench. You can do it with a regular one, you know, manually, whatever you want to do. There is 2 bolts on each side that you can see, or hopefully you can see. Get you on a better spot where you can see it a little better. You can't even see it here because it's a pain. Get y'all off. Look at that right there. There's a bolt right here on this side, and there's a bolt right here on this side. You're just gonna take it and just loosen it. So you can do it manually, or you get the wrench and you just start backing it out. This is gonna take it off the actual condenser and the heat exchanger and all that stuff, and then we can pull it out. Now that both of those are out, this is free and completely away from the actual condenser and the heat exchanger. You just got to kind of separate it, get it pulled apart a little bit. Looks like the condenser is actually with one, but yeah, so now we just got to get back under it and actually get those transmission lines off and get this thing pulled out so it's out and ready to go. Unless we could probably do the fans too, get the fans off, so it's kind of one simple motion, grab the other one, throw it in, snap the other ones back in. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna pop these fans off, and you don't have to do this, it's up to you, but I'm gonna pop the fans off. And yeah, with a 13 mil, I'm just gonna go and just pop it loose real quick and loosen both sides, and we'll get the fan shroud out. All right, so coming back, I already have the transmission line out. I have both of them off and pointed up to where I don't lose as much transmission fluid. But we also, now we have everything disconnected, but down there, you don't see it, but I do. And you'll see it when you get to yours. You have to make sure to pick up the condenser up and out before you can get the radiator out, because it's hooked into it. So simultaneously, you're gonna have to pick up and then pull out. All right, so what I did was I went under it and pulled it out that way. I basically pushed it up enough to where I could get it out. So now I just gotta be careful for bending any of the lines and damaging anything. And this thing was dirty. Woo! And just like that, she's out. But we got one more issue we got to take care of, and that's going to be solved with my needle nose. Wherever they are, we got to find them. Here they are. All right, now we just got to hopefully get this out. This is that brittle plastic piece that actually broke, and it looks like we might not. Oh, we got it. We got it out. Had to get it out, and thankfully we did. All right, now we're just gonna rinse, wash, and repeat. We're probably gonna get the fans put back on first. Instead of doing them separately, we're probably gonna put the fans on first, and then we'll set it all in there. Or you know what, maybe I might, I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna do. Give me a second. All right, onto the new one. What we're gonna do is pull off these little tabs here. We're gonna pull everything off that we don't need on the radiator. And as you see, these lock in just like that. So when you go to put your new piece on, all you do is you just push the hose back in for the transmission lines and literally just push it on, and it knocks it out, and you don't have to worry about it at all. So let's get this thing slipped back in and get everything starting, basically put back together, and I'll get back with y'all because I do have to get some stuff off the old radiator, like the actual rubber pieces that go down here, which you want to make sure you transfer over. And yeah, so give me a second. All right, now with these pieces on at the bottom, as you see, we're gonna get this thing set back in there. Just gonna have to work our way around all these hoses, which is a little bit of a pain. Right there, it's just a little bit of rubbing on it, and it could bend the fins. So I'm not too terribly upset about, because I know I want to get it in there as minimal damage as I can, which seems as we have succeeded with that. But while we are doing that, I'm going to get this pushed. Just want to get one of the transmission lines pushed back on because it started leaking, and I don't want that. Quite frankly, you don't either. Whether you're running stock fluid, the whatever transmission fluid comes in the car, or if you're running aftermarket Red 40 like I am, or Red D4 like I am, you don't want to basically waste any of that fluid, because It is not fun. It's not cheap. So I will check y'all guys in a bit when we get this thing set back in and put back up, and we're ready to bleed. Last one and done. We are back together. Everything is finished. We are buttoned back up. Plugs or connectors are all back on. Everything is wired back up that we needed to wire back up. Intake is on. We are getting ready to bleed this thing. When you bleed it, what you want to do is you want to fill it up to the brim, start it. It's of course going to suck down a lot of fluid. You want to fill it back up with the heater on recycle, so it allows it to fully get, you know, heat cycled, pulled in, all the bubbles burped out of the system. And once you're done, of course, you know, shut it off, cap it while it's on, whatever you would like. I wouldn't recommend capping it while it's on, but of course it's going to build pressure no matter what, because you already have pressure in the system. And there's a cat fight going on. But we are buttoned back up, ready to go start this thing. I got two different things I got to do. I got to bleed the power steering pump, and I got to bleed my coolant. So until then, y'all be safe. Peace out. Have a good day. Good night, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Good luck. Reach out to me in the comments if you need anything. Like, comment, subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you liked the video and if this was helpful. Peace.